Welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, welcome to my channel. October has come to an end, which means it's finally Halloween. Happy Halloween. This also means that this channel marks its 1-year anniversary. So thank you so much for all the support on the channel for the past year. I hope you enjoy my future videos. Anyways, Halloween, a day to dress up and let your inner impersonation skills out and about. However, this was not always the case. The English word Halloween comes from All Hallows Eve, the evening before the Christian holy days of All Hallows Day or All Saints Day on 1st November and All Souls Day on 2nd November. When Halloween costumes first became a culture, they were usually associated with ghosts, vampires, witches, and more supernatural characters. But this expanded to any character, be it Shaggy from Scooby-Doo or one of the Powerpuff Girls. So let's look at the more sinister side of Halloween. You might have heard about the 7 deadly sins and the grouping and classification of vices within Christian teaching: lust, gluttony, greed, sloth, wrath, envy, and pride. Most of the sins are defined by Taeyeon INVU as corrupt versions of love. Lust, gluttony, and greed are all excessive or disordered love of good things, and wrath, envy, and pride are perverted love directed towards others' harm. The sole exception is sloth, which is a deficiency of love. In the 7 deadly sins are 7 ways of eternal death. Now, let's link them with K-pop. We can always just look directly at groups with concepts related to the sins or songs that remind us of each sin. But what would we, K-pop fans, classify as the 7 deadly sins of K-pop? Lust is intense longing, usually thought of as intense or unbridled sexual desire, which may lead to sinful sexual acts. Dante defined lust as the disordered love for individuals. Now this has to be one of the only sins that have a direct parallel in the K-pop industry: the growing over-sexualizing of minors and inappropriate fan service. Especially with the decreasing age of debut, the industry currently has a lot of underage idols in the industry. This means a lot of minors are also being over-sexualized on social media platforms like Twitter and TikTok. However, this does not only happen to underage idols, but all idols. The topic has always bothered me and weirded me out since the start of my journey with K-pop. Now, yes, we might find something sexy, but again, that does not allow us to cross boundaries. If over-sexualizing of idols makes me sick, someone the post is not even related to, imagine how the idol might feel if they ever come across it. Not only is this rude and weird, but also shows a lack of respect fans have towards their idols. Just because you're considered a fan does not allow you to overstep your boundaries and make people uncomfortable just to fulfill your sexual desires. However, this matter does not only happen among fans but also within the company. For example, during Momoland's Boom Boom and Bam eras, the girls were made to wear skirts and shorts that were too tight and short for them. This caused them to continue having to pull them down as they revealed parts of their lower buttocks on multiple occasions while dancing. Not only would this put them in an uncomfortable position, but also acts as a way of telling the disturbing fans that when they over-sexualize these idols, it's totally fine, when it's not fine and never will be fine. Moreover, due to this, on multiple fan cams of the members, inappropriate comments have been made towards the members. However, you guessed it, the company still did not stop styling them in those shorts and skirts, even after fans demanded them to have the members wear safety shorts under their outfit as a way of stopping them from revealing too much. However, what is worse is the overlooking of the over-sexualizing of male idols also. For example, Wix's N was once inappropriately touched by a female star and had opened up about it on one of the shows he went on. However, neither was he taken seriously by the cast of the show, nor by most of the Korean public and K-pop fans. All I can say is that this just shows the level of disrespect for the idol's feelings and personal boundaries, as not only do the fans cross the boundaries set by them, but so do their trusted company. Gluttony is the overindulgence and overconsumption of anything to the point of waste. Medieval church leaders such as Thomas Aquinas took a more expensive view of gluttony and listed 5 forms of gluttony in terms of eating and consumption of meals. Sloth, eating too expensively; studios, eating too daintily; nimis, eating too much; propre, eating too soon; and ardenter, eating too eagerly. In K-pop, fans have a tendency to overconsume their favorite idols' releases, even if the song is not liked by them, in the name of support. This is evident through overstreaming or overvoting. You might say, how does this really matter? Because at the end of the day, they have the right to do what they want. But the problem comes with the outcome of overconsumption of the release. Overconsuming music that is disliked pretty much gives it a higher chance of winning over music liked if it is not consumed at the same pace. Other than that, it could also give the companies a wrong interpretation of the information on what the fans thought of the song. Due to this, they might put out more music like this, which will kind of stop the group from progressing to create better music. This also goes for overvoting, especially when you vote for a group nominated for big awards. Just because they are your favorite rather than the ones who deserve it, this just ruins the point of the whole award system. Greed is applied to an artificial desire as well as a pursuit of material possessions. It is an inordinate desire to acquire or possess more than one needs, especially with respect to material wealth. Rather than a direct link to K-pop, it can be linked to the extreme desire to own something. In this case, the fans' desire to own their idols. Many fans believe that idols are a form of fulfilling their delusional thoughts and act as if they personally know the idol. Due to this, many fans believe that they have a say in what the idol does, especially who they date. But again, this is majorly fueled by the company. Boy and girl groups are marketed as the perfect boyfriends or girlfriends. This gives the fans a greater chance of believing in their delusional thoughts, as they are pretty much given everything required to do so. This leads them to forget that their idols are also humans who fall in love. This further leads to problems when idols come with the news of them dating. Let's look back at 2020, when Chen announced his marriage to his then fiancée. Now, many were happy about it, because why not? Someone getting married is always happy news. But again, of course, there was a bunch of fans who disliked the idea of him getting married. Many protested for him to leave the group, to the point where Chen had to write an apology. Apologize for getting married, having a kid, falling in love, and wanting to have a family of his own. First, let's take a look at the meaning of the noun apology. Apology refers to an act of saying that you're sorry for something wrong you have done. But what has been done wrong here? Nothing. Is it wrong to express something valuable to your fans who you trusted enough to let them know? So then why did he have to apologize? He had to apologize due to the greed the fans felt, when they felt that they lost their ownership over Chen. Not only was it disrespectful, but a pathetic act. However, we cannot forget the worst of the worst fans. Sassing fans. Sassing fans are obsessive fans who stalk or engage in other behaviors constituting an invasion of the privacy of idols or other public figures. The term sassing comes from the Korean words sajong, meaning private, and seng, meaning life, in reference to their fans' intrusion into celebrities' private lives. According to multiple idol managers, an estimated 100 sassing fans follow their idols around every day. Have you ever seen the multiple K-pop videos titled Information Leaked by Sassing? Most of these are very surprising facts, as unless you are personally an acquaintance of the idol, you would never know. So this just highlights how, due to their greed of wanting to know everything about their idol, practically trying and becoming a part of their life, these fans disregard their idol's boundaries. But again, a lot of these delusional thoughts have been created due to the marketing strategies of the companies. Sloth is the absence of interest or habitual disinclination to exertion. Unlike the other 7 deadly sins, which are sins of committing immorality, sloth is a sin of omitting responsibilities. Now, how can this ever link to K-pop fans, especially after the last sin was discussed, as it clearly showed how interested some fans are with idols? That is why this is the only sin that has only links to the idol's company. Every year, numerous idols encounter career-threatening incidents, which include scandals also. But let's think about how many times a company has taken action the right way. Maybe enough for me to count on my hands, therefore meaning a maximum of 10 times. Due to this, fans are only given one-sided information which could jeopardize the idol's image. Let's take a look at an example. Karam. Quick backstory. Once she was revealed as a member of Le Seraphim, people came out to say that she was and had been rude and mean to them. This was linked with SV, and they presented multiple pieces of evidence. Hype kept on dragging this on without any evidence to support Karam. This led to her being made to leave the group without a clear statement of whether she was innocent or not. Fast forward a month or so, Karam had come out with her own evidence through one of her friends' Instagram. Fast forward to about a week ago, a document from the SV committee declared that Karam was indeed innocent, and she presented pieces of evidence that were true. So this clearly highlights that if Hype did proper research on the scandal, maybe Karam might have still been part of the Seraphim. Now what this shows is that some companies do not dig deep and rather leave the fans in a state of confusion, which further leads many of them to send hate towards the idol involved. So what other than this is a clear example of sloth in K-pop? Wrath is uncontrolled feelings of anger, rage, and even hatred. Often reveals itself in the wish to seek revenge. This can be linked to anti-fans. Anti-fans are people who enjoy writing and discussing a piece of media, but solely for the purpose of railing against or parodying it. It can also be a person with hatred towards a celebrity or icon, in this case anti-fans of K-pop idols. Now idols encounter multiple anti-fans, but few go a step too far. Other than the hate comments they leave on posts and lives about the idol, many have gone to do some very disturbing things. One of them happened with Yoonho from TVXQ. In 2006, a young anti-fan of Yoonho handed him a drink of what he believed was orange juice, but was laced with glue. After drinking the juice, Yoonho found himself getting violently sick, vomiting and coughing blood. He was then admitted to the ER, where he was hospitalized for several days. The anti-fan never faced charges and was rather forgiven by Yoonho himself. My question is, what caused anti-fans to have such uncontrolled anger and hatred towards these idols? Now looking back at the hate comments are nothing new, as it is present all over the world in every industry. But this hate evolves into something I call the middle ground with anti-fans, the Black Ocean. If you don't know what Black Ocean refers to, it is when the audience turns off their light sticks and phones to demonstrate a lack of support for the particular artist or group performing on stage. The turned off light sticks make the normally lit audience section dark, giving the illusion of a black ocean. Girls' Generation was one of the earliest groups to encounter this. All I'm going to say is that this hatred is nothing other than another word for disrespecting idols. Envy is described as a sad, resentful, covetous towards the traits or possessions of someone else. In Dante's Purgatory, the punishment for the envious is to have their eyes sewn shut with wire because they gain sinful pleasure from seeing others brought low. This does not need much explaining, as this is just how some fans feel jealous towards certain idols, which leads them to hate them. Honestly, this does not benefit either. It does not help the fan get what they want, and rather makes the idol more upset and feel bad about things they can't help or have achieved. For example, the hate towards Chang Won-young. Now, it's not her fault she was born to look this gorgeous. Due to this, people are envious of her beauty and nitpick everything she does. It's as if just her breathing is a problem to those people at this point. This is also the case for Jennie, even though it has toned down now since the new target for these fans is Won-young. She was also criticized for the simplest things she did. Moreover, these idols are also targeted for stuff that is genuine misunderstandings or is made to look bad on the screen. Rather than hating, send them positive comments. To me, envy's counterpart in K-pop is one of the deadliest sins of K-pop, as it can take a toll on the idol's mental health. Pride is identified as dangerously corrupt selfishness, putting one's own desires, urges, wants, and whims before the welfare of others. Dante's definition of pride was love of self perverted to hatred and contempt for one's neighbor. It is also known as hubris or futility. It is considered the original and worst of the 7 deadly sins on almost every list, the most demonic. It is also thought to be the source of the other capital sins. Pride is the opposite of humility. A clear example of this is the A is better than B or vice versa comments. This is a trait of many who love bragging about their favorite idols while bringing others down. Now, this is not specific to any fandom, as all fandoms have a portion of themselves that participate in this. This makes the act an act of hypocrisy, as they themselves would never want anyone to say the same things to their favorite idols, however, continue to make those statements towards other idols. This not only hurts Group B's reputation, but also hurts Group A's reputation. So it is a lose-lose situation. Therefore, there is no actual positive of the statement. Rather, instead of putting down the other idols while bragging about your idols, just don't link them together unless needed. So if it's a post about Group A's achievements, just talk about them, and vice versa for Group B. So what do you think about these 7 sins? If you have a different interpretation of each sin, please feel free to let me know in the comments. Anyways, that's the end of the video. See you next time. Ishana, signing out.